Diaries of a Madman. Chapter 189. Part 3 of 5. I'm sure she had a reason. I finally started awkwardly scooching off the bed, trying to get to where I left most of my clothes. Twilight blinked off, then transformed herself back into a horse. Before I could finally stand up, she started floating me the clothes. The good news is that this will be good for your reputation. Princess Celestia doesn't do many house calls. Princess Kuntlscha didn't. Princess Cutelestia might. It didn't take me very long to dress up in the skimpy outfit. Soon enough, all I was missing were my panties, which were still sitting on the floor. Are you not going to fly those over? No, you don't get to wear them, she replied. Oh. Then let's go see what she wants. Her horn lit up and we blinked down to the first floor, right in front of Celestia. I nodded at her. What up, CUH? Oh, I think I know this one. She cleared her throat and nodded back. Ain't much of nothing, fam. How's it hanging up in this bitch? Alright, I have something else you're never allowed to do again, I said. It's that. You won't stop me from having fun, she replied, attempting to bop me. I slapped her hoof away, which actually stung my hand. Nav's just mad that we're starting to understand her slang, Twilight said. So why are you here? I finally ask. I'm not allowed to visit a friend. Celestia asked with a sly smile. Obviously you can do just about whatever you want, given that you're the dictator of about a quarter of the globe. Of course, given that you're the dictator of about a quarter of the globe, I certainly assumed you'd have better things to be doing. Fine. I was hoping we could talk first, but if you're going to be like that, I can get to the point. I do want a tour of the bunker and I would like to meet Jonathan. Well, the portal is on the second floor, I said. You're free to head that way. I'm sure Watcher would be happy to assign you a guide. I've already picked my guide, she replied. I want the great conqueror herself to give me the tour. Well, unfortunately, Luna is currently on personal business. You're welcome to wait for her, but I'm not sure how long it'll take. A part of me is surprised it took Princess Kuntlscha so long to lose her patience with you, Celestia said. Your lucky Princess Cutelestia is more forgiving. Aqua. She instantly appeared at my side. Yes, my lady. Celestia isn't allowed to magically spy on me anymore. Make sure she remembers that. You put my fate in Flo's tendrils, not Aqua's, Celestia said. What makes you think Flo will let Aqua follow that command? Flo. Celestia's eyes turned blue. I warned her when she did it that this would be your response. I also warned her that I would not stand in your way. If this is the path you choose, so be it. Her eyes went back to their pretty pink. So much for bluffing. There's nothing you need to hide from me now, Navi. I'm not interested in Big Sister constantly looking over my shoulder, even if it might be for my own good. I'm especially not interested in anything I say privately being used against me. Twilight, are you coming or staying? I'll be staying, she said. I want to talk to Taya. I also have a few more preparations to make before I'm ready to put you in a coma. In that case, can you get some donuts before you return? Athena and Hera asked for something sweet and I figured that would do it. I can do that, she said with a nod. It'll be nice to show them some pony food. Thanks. Now come on then, Sunbutt, I said. Let's get this over with. You know you enjoy your time with me, she said as we started walking to the stairs. This is the second time I've done it. The first time was okay I guess, but I wouldn't really call it fun. Well, you will come to enjoy your time with me. You know, as soon as you stop pretending to hate it. I could certainly do with less condescension. And I could do without being called a dictator. I am a princess, thank you very much. You're very bitchy for someone who's lucky to even exist. That's another one of those naughty errant thoughts you need negative reinforcement to get rid of, Aqua said in my head. Princess Cutelistja is a brand new individual. Give her a chance. It didn't take us long to get to Twilight's teleportation circle. A board guard was watching over it. He stiffened to attention when I walked in and his eyes widened when he saw the princess. Do you need an escort, my lady? He asked. I'm being escorted by Princess Celestia. Any more would be overkill. That's Princess Cutelistja to you, she said, patting my back with a wing. You're rapidly becoming Princess Annoy the shit out of Mielstja. Let's go. I think Princess Cutelistja sounds better, the guard said. That's because you're a pansy pony like her, I said, bopping him on the nose. With that, I stepped into the circle. It's good to know you treat your staff as poorly as you treat me, she said, also stepping onto the circle. She's too cute to ever stay mad at it, the guy said. And she makes it really easy to peek up her skirt. And even better, I rarely wear panties, I said. Truly the best lady ever, the guard said with a smile. Cutelistja snorted and finally teleported us halfway across the continent. The circle was still on top of the entrance to the fort. There was now a fairly rudimentary staircase carved into the stone, leading down. The airship was currently at the top of the shaft. Seeing it all in a memory didn't quite give me the scale, Celestia said. This place is truly massive. And that ship is amazing. I had a plan for it, if you'd like to hear it, I said. I'll probably need your help, too. Of course I'd love to hear it, she said. It's currently crewed by the race of bugs that Jonathan found. I plan to add on a lot of crafters and machinists. The ship will fly around the continent. The bugs will harvest resources like metals, stone, and wood. The crafters will turn the resources into magical runic armor, weapons, and golems. I plan to retrofit the equestrian military to the point where we can invade Tartarus in order to pacify all the demons, stop the constant discord, and cleanse the corrupted lake of pure magic. I see. When were you planning on telling me that you were going to use my army to start a war? 15 seconds ago. Right, of course. Do I get a say in this plan? Of course. You can stand in my way if you want. But I am going to Tartarus one way or another. I'd feel much more comfortable if it was at the head of a powerful army. I also figured you'd feel more comfortable coming out about not controlling the sun after your army conquers hell in your name. In my name? She asked. I thought you were leading this army. I will be leading your army who will be fighting for you. None of them would follow me in there without the princess's permission. I've also already gotten pledges of support from Princess Gilda, Shiny, and Cadance, and Moonbeam. So, do you plan to stand in my way? When Luna and I spoke, she told me of the summit, of the powers represented there. She also mentioned what you plan to do in regards to governing the world. I would like to meet with all of these leaders myself. I will make my decision about Tartarus after. You will have it by the time you emerge from the coma. Cool. So, you want to get this tour started? Yes. Let's start with the ship. I would like to see the Queen. Before we could start walking that way, a water elemental shot up the stairs and slid over to us. She pile-drived me with a hug, knocking me off my feet and sliding me across the stone. Her body kept me safe from harm, thankfully. When we stopped sliding, Flo's body finally formed and she kissed me on the nose. Hello, Navi, she sweetly said in my head. Hi. Do you want to convince Celestia that you're a much better tour guide than I could ever be so she'll let me go back home? No, of course not, she said. Then I wouldn't get to spend any time with you. Gosh darn it. Then help me up. She set me back up on my feet, though she didn't pull away from me. So, shall we? Flo started ferrying me along. Celestia walked next to us. So is there a piece of Jonathan we could speak to aboard? She asked. There is, Flo said. What about Zekora? I ask. She's recuperating on the second chance, Flo said. It's flying around the crater with another copy of Jonathan. He's showing us how to operate all the nanites he created for weather and crop control. I would also like to see a demonstration of that, Celestia said. Of course, it's not like I had any plans today or anything, I sarcastically replied. I actually had a question about those plans, Flo said. Luna told Celestia last night that you decided to enter the coma in Athena's book. I assumed either I misheard her or she was misinformed, though, because I know you have more than 2 brain cells. You've been in my brain long enough to catch up, I said. I can absolutely see Discord trying to pull some shit while I'm out. I feel like the chances of him succeeding are a lot lower if I'm in Athena's book. I sense no malice from either of them. Here is psychotically insane, but she seems relatively harmless as long as you don't provoke her. Athena's just a lonely old woman. Neither are going to try anything. All the same, I would feel more comfortable with you under my care, Celestia said. Aqua could surround your body to ensure you heal properly and are protected. They're already making preparations. It would be rude to back out now. We got to a new staircase in the center of the deck and started heading down. Where did these staircases come from? Jonathan decided it would be easier for us to navigate if we had direct access to areas of importance, Flo said. So he showed us another one of his skills, which is the ability to mold a structure into a new shape. This allowed him to essentially carve stairs into the wood and stone. He offered to make us a staircase that spiraled around the entire hole, leading all the way to the bottom. We declined. I can see why, Celestia said. It's quite a drop. So the race that first found this place just dug straight down. That's what he told us, I said. Apparently the crater was already here, though. And the being you found in that runic room under the mountain was one of them. She was, I said. The elementals have all of her memories. They're quite fascinating, Flo said. It's astounding how similar they were to humans and ponies. There is even some evidence that they knew of elementals, though I don't think they found any. They were super hard for human tech, I said. I hope we can replicate their power device. That would be a pretty huge boon. If we can create a magical shield over all the cities in Tartarus, the innocent civilians can finally rest easy. Flo, do you think Watcher could use extra pony power? Celestia asked. I would be happy to send some guards in to help hurry things along. The current bottleneck is the amount of spirits below, Flo said. We are trying to neutralize them peacefully and allow them to return to the afterlife. Zecora is confident it's better than trying to eradicate them. I'm inclined to agree, I said. We're not in a hurry. All the same, with the shield down, you are open to interlopers. I would feel more comfortable with more troops on standby. Watcher will, of course, remain in command. Do I have a say in this? I ask. Of course. You can stand in my way if you want. I believe it should be left up to Watcher, though. Flo, ask him if he wants any oversight. He said additional hooves would be appreciated, Flo replied. Well, there you go. You can send some peeps here, I guess. I'd prefer them not having to use my house to do it, though. Twilight drew one set of circles. She can draw another. With the staircase, it took us no time at all to get to the heart of the big-ass ship. Char was talking to the iteration of Jonathan. A board guard squad was playing spin the bottle. The queen was chilling with 2 of the huge melee bugs. That silver blob next to Char is Jonathan, I said. And that ugly lump of fuck over there is the queen. That is no way to speak about royalty, Nav, Flo said. I don't see a crown on her head, I said. She's just the queen bug. It doesn't even count, since she's totally controlled by Johnny. Then do I count as royalty? Celestia asked. Well, let's see. You have a crown on your head and you aren't being totally controlled by somebody else, so I would say yes. Now, do you want to meet John? Yes. She started trotting over to introduce herself. I wanted to stay behind, but Flo didn't let me. Celestia's enormous size meant she made a lot of noise, so Char and Johnny quickly noticed us. John stared straight at Celestia as we approached. Greetings, Jonathan, Celestia said. My name is Princess Celestia. I have many memories of you, he said. You've ordered more than one expedition here. I have, she said. And all of them failed. Navarone has once more succeeded where I could not. My stock of ponies is mostly depleted, but I am working on rectifying that, he said. When I have enough, I will release them to you to recuperate your losses. I can return the minds of those who became my puppets, as well. They might be disoriented in their new bodies, but they will grow into them in time. You actually store their minds? I ask. I keep the minds of the races that are still alive. The extinct races get overwritten. That way, I would be prepared to give the chosen one the minds of any I took from her. You are a machine, Celestia said. As I understand it, all machines that humans built had a purpose. Your purpose was to wait for the chosen one. Yes. So what will you do now? She asked. My next order is to obey Navarone as she progresses. I fully intend to do so. You said you kept the minds of races until they went extinct, I said. Do you have any human minds? I am not at liberty to say. Wait, what? I said. That's suspicious, Flo slowly said. It's definitely cause for concern, Char said. Why aren't you at liberty to say? It goes counter to some of the other orders I was given. What other orders were you given? I ask. My orders are to tell you only what my current main directive is. That current main directive is to support you however you need. Well, I'd like you to support me by telling me your orders. Dr. Anonymous warned me that you would try this, he said. And advised that I slap you in the face if you do not stop. Will I be required to slap you in the face? No. Any more questions, Celestia? I've been told you have technology that controls crops and the weather. You have been told correctly, he replied. Would you be willing to share this technology with the ponies? No. What if Navarone requested it? If Navarone requested it, I would. How difficult would it be to make more of these machines? I ask. Enough to feed, say, a city. Extremely easy, Jonathan said. The limiting factor is time and materials. I need titanium, aluminum, and gold. If this ship does end up traveling around for materials, I will be able to obtain what I need. It will take me 1 week to produce enough machines to feed 10,000 ponies. How much land will you require? Celestia asked. I imagine you would need to rotate crops constantly to keep enough nutrients in the soil. That is unnecessary, he said. The nanites in the soil seek out bugs of all kinds to work the soil, keeping it full of nutrients. If you'd like to do this long term, the ideal farm would be about 100 acres. Each plot would take about a week to grow the crops, and then be idle for a week. You could consistently grow crops for about 6 months before the land will need 3 months to recuperate. Astounding, Celestia said, a huge grin coming to her face. And what of these bugs? She asked, looking over to the Queen. Nav seems to believe they can harvest resources. Can you think of other uses they might have? They can build, he said. I used them to build this fortress. I'm sure they'd have plenty of other uses, if you put it to thought. I have little thought for how to use biological life. It is not my purpose. I think the more important question is, can you breed more queens to control more colonies? I ask. Because one colony working out of this ship would be great, but more would be better. That is doable, he said. There is actually an ant queen in the dirt. It is possible we could put her to use as well. I'm sure we can find a use for a bunch of giant ants, I said. Load her up on the ship. Ants make great cannon fodder, Celestia said. Luna has used them as mercenaries in the past. Most queens care little if a few dozen soldiers get killed, but they can make a huge difference in a battle. Perfect for a war on Tartarus, I said. So we'll have giant ants, giant other bugs, runic golems, and soldiers in magic armor. End of Part 3.